How's everyone doing today? We're gonna make this quick video. Gonna make it short, probably shorter than other videos. But before we get started, I'd like to say, if you're gonna purchase these to turn up the velocity and use projectiles like I use, please find out your state and local laws before you go ahead and purchase that or purchase these or do anything that I'm doing. I don't want you to get in trouble, and handle these things with care, because sometimes you do get misfires and stuff like that, unintentional fires. And if there's a projectile in there, someone could get hurt, possibly, can potentially be hurt. So today I'm talking about my Tippmann 98 Custom. Um, Before we go any further, this case is the Gun Guard by Plano. This one costed, I think it was like 19 bucks, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, this one is my Tippmann 98 Custom. Sorry, not the Cronus. That was yesterday's video. So this is my Tippmann 98 Custom. I added this stock to it. The JT adapter for the 90 gram CO2s, the on-off GOG. I added this this little black wire cover to cover the braided line, and obviously what I did was I turned up the velocity screw as much as I possibly could before it started dipping, because as I mentioned before, if you turn this out way too much, your FPS or your velocity will start dipping. So I turned it up all the way up until before it started dipping, or until it started dipping, and then I turned it back so it can level out. And I shimmed the screw just the same way that I did to my wife's Tippmann Cronus. This model I think is the first gen 98 Custom, because I know the other ones come with the split body right here, where you can take this cover off or this cover off. So this is the first gen. So yeah, I shimmed the screw. I shimmed the spring, as I said before, and I shimmed it. If you take this stock off, there's a hole that the spring goes into, and I shimmed it 3/4 of the way, just enough to where it's resisting a lot, but it still cocks. Because if you shim it too much, you can try and cock the bolt, and it won't cock. So I shimmed it just enough to where it'll still allow me to cock the bolt. So one thing that I didn't mention in my other video from yesterday was that on both of these, I Teflon taped the velocity screw. I took it all the way off. I put a little bit of Teflon in it so no air escape. And I also did it to the barrel. I put Teflon tape on it and then screwed it back on, so no air can escape through there too. I did tape a little bit, I put a little bit of tape on the ports here. It had some holes like this right here, so I just taped it so it'll just, it'll have the air won't escape through there as well. Another thing that I forgot to mention was this. I made this out of a 3/4 inch metal conduit tube. You can do this if you have the 10 round tubes like I do. You can do this with a 3/4 inch PVC pipe too. I've seen people do it with, but I did it with a metal conduit because I had some left over from some work that I had done in my house. So I just cut a piece off, and I did it to the other one as well. I cut a piece off, and then I wrapped it because it was too small for the hopper adapter. So I just wrapped it a little bit with inch thick what do you even call it? Electrical tape. I made it thick enough to where it just seats in there, and then I tighten this down, and it doesn't come off. Okay. And the reason why I did that is because, like I said, I use 10 round tubes. So what I do is I just stick it right in there, just like that. And what happens is you just get 10 rounds, but it doesn't, let me flip this over, it doesn't fall off or anything. And the reason why I use these is because if you put a hopper on this, these balls are almost 5 grams a piece. You stick 100 balls in there, you're adding not a lot, but you're adding a couple pounds, maybe 3 to 5 pounds. I don't, I haven't done the math. But you'll add a couple pounds, maybe not 5, but you'll add like, 2 to 3 pounds. And you want to keep these as light as possible. Not only that, with the big hopper right in the way, it's hard to sight it up, to get your target. With this, it's nice and sleek. You don't have nothing obstructing your sight. So that's why I chose to do it. Whoops. Let's just leave that like that for now. I'm not going to talk about the rounds right now because I already did that in the previous video. So I'm not going to get into the rounds. But what I am planning on doing is I want to get a better barrel. And a black barrel at that. I want to get a better barrel. I want to change the grips on this, possibly. What else? I was thinking about converting it into MagFed, because I found the MagFed adapter, and I was planning on doing that, but then it won't fit in the case. So I think I'm just gonna stick to how we have it now, how I have it set up. What else? Yeah, I think that's it. These are shooting, both of them, because they have both been chronoed. They are shooting roughly from 330 to 350, anywhere in between there. Because as I explained in my other video, I'm using a digital chrono that I downloaded, and it's roughly 15 FPS off, based on some videos that I've seen. So on the chrono, it says it's shooting upwards of 367, 365. It jumps, obviously, because I'm using CO2. I am looking at getting the compressed air tanks. But as I stated in my previous videos, I don't want to spend any money at this point because I'm planning on moving. But I am looking into getting some CO2, not CO2s. I am planning on getting compressed air tanks instead with the stirrup pump, so I can fill it on my own, because I live in the country, and the paintball fields out here are kind of far, and I'm not trying to drive half an hour to fill it. So I'd rather spend $100 and get the stirrup pump, or whatever it costs now. So yeah, this is my setup for right now. I know it looks basic. I'm not adding. Oh, and what I am planning on getting is a shroud. I'm looking for a shroud that'll fit on this. I haven't had that much luck trying to find them, but I am thinking about getting the shrouds, or trying to find the shroud. So that's mine for now. So yeah, that's my setup. My wife's is the Tippmann Cronus, and then the FSCs, but that's my setup. And these I don't take out. These are for the house only. So I'm not taking this with me anywhere. This one is always in my home, just for the house. Okay. So again, as I stated before, if you guys are planning on doing these types of setups for home defense, please find out your state and local laws first. Make sure that you can even have these in your possession. Make sure it's legal for you to have these. Make sure it's legal for you to do what I've done to these. So like that you don't get in trouble. All right. That's today's video. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.